Hello, here we're going to look at 5.2, composition of functions. The why is that composition of functions allows us to continue the two birds with one stone concept that allows us to use functions that are applied in a sequence. Where we previously saw function notation where we did f plus g of x, and this guy could be different types of things. We did addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and it allowed us to take care of both of those operations at the exact same time. Composition of functions still allows us to take care of that, two birds with one stone, but this time functions that are applied in a sequence. A good example of to think about, an example of this would be the way that you get keys money for in-state schools. The way that your keys money is calculated is they take there's a certain amount of keys money that you'll get, but it depends on your GPA. So if I was going to write this out as a function and maybe talk about the way that you earn keys money as k of, what it would be whatever your GPA is. So what you'd first have to do to calculate how much keys money you're going to get is you would figure out what's my GPA, and then you'd take that GPA and you'd then apply it and figure out how much money you'd get in the keys money department. But you needed to first know what happened with your GPA, right? So where these are applied in a sequence, you have to find the inside piece first, and then you take the inside piece answer and apply it to the second part, right? So that's what's going to be happening. And to do that, we're going to look at an appliance store that's discounting all new dishwashers by 10%. They are also offering an $100 rebate on all new dishwashers. So we're going to be buying a new dishwasher that's priced at $850, and we're going to determine, will the final price be lower if the discount is applied before the rebate or if the rebate is applied before the discount? Because we're going to do both of these things, 10% off and a $100 rebate. One of them is going to come before the other. We need to figure out which one needs to come first to get the cheaper deal. So we need to set up some functions to do this. We're going to let f of x represent the price of the dishwasher after the discount. We're going to let g of x represent the price of the discount after the rebate. So here's what this would look like. If the original price is discounted by 10%, that means we're only paying for 90% of the washer. So 0.90x represents the dishwasher where x is the price, 10% off. So we're only paying for 90% of it. If there's a $100 rebate on all new dishwashers, what it would look like is the price of the dishwasher minus the $100 rebate. So those are the two functions. We're going to figure out which one of these we need to do first. This setup here makes a fun little word. It says GOF. That really stands for G of f of x. The way that you'll see it written out more likely is like this. And you'll see that this is how I wrote the keys money out first, up top. Now, what's going on here is that this says the discount is going to be applied before the rebate. F represents the discount function. So we're going to calculate the price of the dishwasher first, and then we'll take off the rebate. All right? So this G of f of x, or in this case, G of f of 850, one more time, if you're confused by that, because it looks a little confusing. What it's saying is that you're going to do this part first and then put it into there. So that's why I wrote it out like that. We're going to do the F part first and then take that answer into G. Okay, so for us to do this, the discount is weighting. F of 850 would be 0.90 times 850, right? F of 850 is using this right here, where I'm going to plug in 850 for x. And then we simply calculate it. So 0.90 times 850 gives us a value of 765. So 765 is how much the dishwasher would cost after a 10% discount. Now, G of 765 would look like this. It's the price of the dishwasher minus 100 because of that $100 rebate. So what this is telling us here is that if we did the 10% discount first and then we took off the $100 rebate, we just determined that the total price would be $665. All right. So that's option 1. Now let's do that same process, except this time we're not going to do golf, we're going to do the fun word fog, which is really do the G portion first and then take that answer, right? So do the G portion first, then carry that answer over. So to calculate G of 850, it's going to be 850 minus the $100 rebate. So that then means we're looking for F of 750. Now to find F of 750, that's the 10% discount. So there's the 10% discount. There's the amount that we're taking it on. And when we do that, we get 675. So what that's telling us is that if we did the mail-in rebate first, and then we took 10% off the remaining price, it'd be $675. So you can see that they are different. When I do the 10% off first, we get $665. When we do the mail-in rebate first, we get $675. So the final price of the dishwasher is less when the discount is applied before. Right, before or first, than the rebate. That's composition of functions, where you're doing two different things, but you have to do them in order. And the order does matter. We just saw that. The order is going to impact which way the total price landed at. All right, that's composition of functions. This next problem is very similar. If you wanted to read through it on your own time and give it a try. I won't have us look at it here now. We're going to continue on with the rest of the notes. Now, this part here, this was for level 3. So that's a level 3 exclusive skill that we are going to move on from. Let's look at our composition of functions like this, where we're working with them from a generic standpoint. The way that this works, I want you to think of this as a Thanksgiving turkey. Got a nice turkey coming here, give it a nice little leg. All right, there's the turkey and its leg. And inside the turkey, we're going to carve a hole, and that's where we're going to put some stuffing. All right, so we're going to kind of use this model to represent what's really going on. So this right here, G of H of X, is really, our turkey is G. Inside the turkey, we have stuffing, and it's stuffing brand H. All right, so here's how we execute this. I'm going to write out the turkey, and in this case, the turkey is G of X. I'm going to highlight G of X there in that yellow color. So I'm going to write out G of X, but instead of the X, that's where I'm going to carve the hole in my turkey. And inside that turkey, we're filling it in with stuffing H. Here is stuffing H. It's X squared minus 1. I highlighted it there in blue. So inside the turkey is X squared minus 1. And that's it. That's all composition of functions is this taking one function, carving a hole in it. All right, see the hole in the turkey up here. And then inside it, you are stuffing it with the other function. So this is what G of H of X is equal to. It's turkey G with stuffing H. And yes, you could distribute this and simplify it if you wanted to. But in terms of the gist of it, that's what it is. Right? You're taking one function and putting it into the other. The rest of this would just be if you needed to simplify it. I distribute the 3 to both. So the very most simplified version would be this. All right, but that's just a little bit of the extra stuff. It's the setup that is the focus of this lesson. So let's do it the other way around. This time the turkey is H. So I'm going to write out turkey H, but instead of X, that's where I'm carving the hole. So there's turkey H. The stuffing in this case is G. So inside the hole that we carved, I'm going to input stuffing G. And this is what H of G of X would look like. It's a turkey H with G stuffing inside. And you could also simplify this one as well. That would have to be done by, foiling that out. So you'd get 9x squared minus 12x plus 16 minus 1. To give us this. So that would be the expanded version, but it's the setup that I'm focusing on today. There is H of G of X. Okay, so what I'll have us do here is try these following ones, right? So I encourage you to pause the video and attempt to write these out in the same fashion that I did up above. So pause it, and then when you push play, you will be able to see what the answers are. And the questions that we're finding are, what is f of g of x? That's this guy right here. And we're also looking for g of f of x. All right, so we have kind of both options there for us. So pause the video and give number 3 a try. Here are the initial setups. And I went ahead and color coded them. F in blue, G in green. So you can see for the first one, I took turkey F, opened up the X, and inside it stuffed the G in green. For the bottom one, we had turkey G. Inside the turkey was stuffing F. So I wrapped the stuffing F there in for the X. And then you could simplify both of these, so this one would end up being negative 10x plus 2. So this final answer is negative 10x plus 9. And then on this one, we'd get a negative 10x minus 35. And there you have it. Now, you'll notice that the two are different, and that's supposed to happen. Now, these weren't too far off. They both had a negative 10x piece out front. That won't always happen like that. Sometimes these won't have any terms that match. But we saw, in the buying the appliance, that you do get different final answers, and that's normal. So on this one, we get different final answers here, and that's normal. And that's the concept. Whatever is on the outside, that's your turkey. Right? And then whatever on the inside goes right there. So if this was f of g of x, this would be turkey F with stuffing G